Hello, and welcome to Leadership as a Philosophy, not a Checklist, Case Studies. This is going to be a new category on the YouTube channel, also something of interest, at least to me, and that's the way it usually works. Find something you're interested in and talk about it. Case studies, they're going to be from a bunch of different sectors. They'll be from different situations, either scenarios that I've read about, or maybe somebody will send me one. I do have one that I've already talked to a couple of people about. And it's very interesting because they are both in the same category of business, had the same problem, completely different parts of the country, completely different companies. So it's not that it's some unique thing. The other reason I'm trying to do it across a bunch of different categories or sectors of the economy, if you will, is to show that leadership is not just a military thing or just a business thing or just a fill in the blank thing, whatever that is. Okay, so to begin with, we'll start with the story. And this actually happened to me, so I'm going to, if it sounds like I'm being vague, it's because I don't want to name any names or name any locations because I kind of want to go back. Anyway, this was happened in Las Vegas. I happened to go there about 2 years ago. And basically, we were staying at a resort, and this resort had the idea of if you paid a little bit for this luxury thing, quote unquote luxury, then you got a little bit better treatment. You got some better amenities, you got some better seating, you had different places that you could go. So it's, obviously worth doing, and we had saved up, and normally when my family goes, we go to relax and try to find cool places to eat and cool museums and stuff to go to, not so much messing around with the gambling or all the other stuff. Now, the resort that we were staying at had this great philosophy. I did all this research afterwards and found this out. This is why I thought it was so funny. So their priorities were on the guest experience being unparalleled in the hospitality industry. Okay, sounds like a lofty goal. The employees, or we will partner with our employees to make sure that we provide the best environment and the best this and the best that and all this sort of stuff. Sounds great. It's this boilerplate. Everybody's got the same stuff. And then we will strive to provide nothing but the excellence in the guest experience, the employee experience, and we'll have a reputation for being renowned for X and Y and Z and the other thing. I don't know if you have been to Las Vegas. I don't know of a bunch of places there that have reputations for mind-blowing customer service. So right off the bat, there's a problem. Anyway, so this is the scenario. The employees, so we went to go get our seats at this place, and the employees knew what they were supposed to be doing. They were well trained. It wasn't an employee issue at all. But basically, we walked in, checked in, and then we're told, yeah, go over there and somebody will be with you. So we went over there. Now, again, this is a premium experience. Go over there, do all this stuff. It wasn't a far walk. It wasn't any sort of a problem. They were doing what they were told. You could tell they had a checklist. We went over there and sat down, and the somebody that was supposed to be there never showed up. So we started looking around. I finally decided to sit back, did a little looking, found out where it looked like the people that were supposed to be helping were. Went walking over there. Hey, we're sitting over in this place, and we've been there for about 30 minutes, and nobody's talked to us. Is there a time that this is supposed to start? Is there, we're here when you open. What's the deal? And one of the people that was working there looked completely crestfallen and said, I'm sorry, I'll be right over there. Please give me a couple of minutes. Went back. Person came over, and I started talking to him. And I said, well, what's going on? They said, well, this is the second time in a week or in 2 weeks that this has happened. And it seems to me that this is really dumb. The person that does the check-in doesn't tell anybody that they're here, and we don't necessarily have a way to go check because people sometimes show up later and all this sort of stuff. So we're doing other things. We don't know anybody's sitting there. And how come the person doesn't come over and tell us, or there's something, we've got radios, how come they don't call? There's no way to get any of this sort of stuff done. And then so that's what happened. So this person was completely embarrassed that I had to go hunt them down to make them do to ask them to do their job. And the person that had checked us in clearly didn't know that anything was wrong. Nobody had communicated to them either. And so the initial service wasn't great because the person just sort of pointed and said, go over there. And then there was no communication with the employees. But the employee that helped us out had the solution. Just had the answer. Super simple too. Shouldn't be that hard. Okay. So what was that? So management was non-existent. Then this employee proceeded to tell a story. So basically the way this worked was you had to order a certain amount of food and beverage to reach a certain amount. And then once that happened, the place that you were was paid for. Or if you didn't meet that amount, you paid out of pocket. Not a big deal. Well, what I guess had happened the week before was some customers had come in. Nobody showed up. Nobody communicated. They went over to one of the restaurants that was attached to the area and ordered a bunch of food and drink, several $100s worth. And when everything finally got sorted out, it was about an hour and a half later, they said, oh, well, can we transfer what we paid in this restaurant to the bill here because the restaurant's right there? I said, nope, can't do it. So this poor employee, and I say poor, this poor employee now had to deal with a customer that was in a rage because they had spent several $100s and now had to spend more money to pay for the thing that they were at. Nobody helped. So there's no management anywhere. What the heck's going on here? This is supposed to be the guest is the most important. The employee experience will be unparalleled, and we'll partner with our employees and we'll have a reputation for excellence. Well, either nobody's buying that or there's no leadership. Okay, next example, a couple of days later, went to a place and walked in. And first of all, this is a sort of a specialty facility. Like I said, I'm trying to be vague because it applies to everything and I don't want to get anybody in trouble. Went into this place, supposed to be a specialty place, and the two people working the counter where all the specialty stuff was didn't know hardly anything about the specialty stuff. That's just silly, right? If you're going to a place that brags to be the expert on something, there should be some experts there, because then what happens? We all know. Well, this and this and this. So it's a sales technique, but it's also just knowing your stuff. Oh, if you want looking for this, you're looking for something interesting from this cool region with this cool method. Here's this one. Or here's the 3 highest margin ones. If somebody asks and says, what's the best? You push that one. You know, we all know how sales works. And we walked in. So the people that were working the counter didn't know anything. Then we went to sit outside, and it had this nice little cool patio area. Walked outside. There was trash on the floor. That was outside, and it's fine. But there was a lot of leaves on the sofas and the cushions, and the cushions were all dirty and stained. Again, this is supposed to be a premium place. And again, this is in a resort, different place, but I went and looked at their website and found this, boilerplate philosophy, different company, different everything. Wow, the guests are the most important and the employees are the most important and excellence, and we're going to be this and that. Cushions had stains. Everything was kind of ratty, and it just wasn't a great experience. Sort of felt like I don't know, it just didn't feel premium. Not that I'm snooty, it just didn't feel like it matched the prices, if that makes sense. So what am I paying for here? In any event, fast forward a little bit, And it was getting close to being later in the evening, and all of a sudden the music goes from conversation level to thermonuclear clubhouse level. And the place was kind of full. There was some couples sitting there and some groups of people having a great time. Everybody's having a good conversation. Suddenly the music goes to thermonuclear, and couldn't hear, couldn't talk. So I got up to leave. And and I had only had one thing, and went and talked to one of the people working at the counter. They said, "Oh, you're leaving?" I said, "Yeah, it's too loud. You can't talk." They said, "Yeah, it's automated, and we've told the bosses about it, but they haven't been around for 3 weeks, and there's nothing we can do about it." Well, all those people in the next 5 minutes got up and left, and the place was empty. So now you're making no money. And then we walked around and came back by about 45 minutes later. There was one person outside with that super loud music. But the employees were kind of looking embarrassed and kind of bashful because they couldn't make anything happen. Management non-existent. Again, manager hadn't been around for 3 weeks. I said, "Where's your manager? If you complain to the manager, oh, I haven't seen him for 3 weeks." So basically, same philosophy. Like I said, poor experience, poor cleanliness, poor environment, employees unable to do anything. So where's the leadership? There clearly was no leadership. Absolutely was no leadership. How do I know? Well, it's easy. All right, so here's the impact. How was the customer experience in these situations? And we're going to use their own evaluation criteria. How was their, and again, answer out loud, I can hear you. So the customer experience wasn't great, right? Paying for something premium and going to something that's got some sort of specialty vibe to it, and you get treated like nothing. The places are dirty. There's no communication, nothing. And then how was the employee experience? Well, this one I love to rant on this one because I'm always thinking about the employee. I don't care about me. I care about the employee. Well, in each one of these places, the employee works on tips, right? Cool. Well, if the starting experience for the guest isn't great, most likely the guest is going to spend less money. And so in this example with the customer that had to pay basically double, I asked the person what their tip was, and they said they got a 5% tip. And so imagine if the person had spent all of the money that they did spend, which was about $1,200 total. That's not the price for it. $1,200. Even if they got 10% of that, it's a $120 tip. So because there was no management, because there was no leadership, because nobody went to take care of the customer, the employee suffered. Nobody was there having the employees back. Where was the manager at? How come the manager isn't there in the morning to make sure that everything gets started? What would happen if the manager walked around and said, "Hey, welcome, any questions? Here's the deal. Here's who's going to help you. Let me get you guys started with a couple of these things and make it feel premium. It takes 5 minutes. Make it feel a little special. 5 extra minutes of your time. And then you're having a good time. This place is great. These people take care of us." Next thing you know, you tell people, "Oh my goodness, go to this place and go do this thing because you can't believe how they take care of you in Las Vegas. Oh my goodness, blah, blah, blah." So then you become one of the places in Las Vegas known for amazing customer service. Then what? Sorry, I get snorting. All right, so what was the impact on revenue to the employee? Well, we just talked about that. So the employee got less of a tip. Same place at the other place because I only got one thing. The other people got up and left. That means that the tickets went down. That means that they didn't order as much stuff, which means that the employees didn't get any good tips. And because the music was so loud, they drove away the customers, so the employees aren't making any money during that time either. So you're screwing the employees by not being there. And guess what's required? I'm sorry. This is not condescension. This is what I talk about, the difference between leaders and somebody with a certificate. I looked at a couple of the management jobs at these places, and they require a degree in hospitality management or resort management. I'm not going to say the exact degree, but you have to have a degree in this. Well, they've got their degree, cool. And look, it's Vegas. They're making money. They're making a profit. But what in the heck would happen? This is the leader thing in me. And I'm not trying to be a greedy capitalist, but I'm a greedy capitalist. What would happen if you could double the amount of revenue just by spending 5 or 10 minutes a day of your time? Just by making sure that the employees had everything they needed to get their job done. Just by making sure you created the conditions to put the employee in a good place so then the employee's happy. The employee's making scads of money. Next thing you know, they're having a great time, which makes the customers have a better time because everybody seems like they're enjoying themselves. The customer spends more money. They have a better time, sure. And then you double the place. Some of the margins at this stuff is 1,000%. Some of the margins, because I know what I was ordering, and I'm going, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm paying these prices. But I wanted to have that experience. So imagine if you can double the revenue with 1,000% margin. So the organization could be even more profitable just by taking care of people, not by doing anything with numbers. Sorry, I'm getting passionate. You take care of the employees. Employees are going to take care of the customers. Customers are going to be happy. And then the organization profits. But yeah, so I mean, what other impacts were there? Let me see if I can think of any. The tip thing, the customer thing, yeah. Well, revenue margin, whatever. But the margins were astronomical at this place. Because like I said, I'm looking at this going, I know how much this costs at the 7-Eleven. And this is not that price. So they're making a $1 billion. Just made that up. All right. So what is the value of this stupid philosophy? And I say stupid. Why do I say stupid? Because they just put it up there to look good. They weren't embodying that. The philosophy was amazing. If you go and look at it, you're, holy crap, I'm going to walk in there. There's going to be a red carpet. There's going to be confetti, strobe lights. It's going to be amazing. I'm exaggerating. But you get the impression that, holy moly, these people are going to be fantastic. Nope. They just put that up there because they had to. Because they weren't embodying it. What's the point of a philosophy if you're not going to embody it? Then you're just talking. Then you have no integrity. And you have no empathy. You're not taking care of your employees. You don't have any humility. So why even have it up there? You know, what it should have been, because look at the actions. Look at the end result. Right? Hey, we're just happy that you're here and are going to give us some money and leave. That'll be fine. If they put that on there, that would have been more honest. That's what it felt like. And in the second place over here with it was a niche thing, so it's supposed to be specialty. How long would it take? And look, we all know this. Most people that go into specialty places want to get the coolest thing. So pick 3 or 4 of the coolest things and be able to talk about them. The coolest things could also be the highest margin things. So somebody walks in, wants to know something. Oh yeah, I know everything about this one. This one's similar. This one's similar. You don't have to know a lot. 30 minutes of study and you could be way more of an expert than somebody that's stumbling down the strip. Right? I want to, because I've seen that too, because people go crazy. I want a shot of the most expensive thing in here. Oh, okay. There you go, right? That's easy. Anybody can do that. But no, let me get you the coolest thing. And if you want to know, here's this whole journey you could go on and you could do 3 of these things, or maybe that's another thing they didn't have at one. Well, I shouldn't talk about that. I don't want to get too, but they certainly weren't doing anything to promote their niche product. Where's the management at? Oh, well, we're making we're supposed to be making this amount of money. We're making it, so we're good. Pfft. I'd go there and triple that plate. I just know it. Because you'd make it so that suddenly it was an engaging experience. Oh my gosh, if you want to learn everything you can go look up the reviews for this niche place, and there's nothing in there that says you can go here and learn everything you want to know about this niche product. It was kind of cool. It's neat because you can sit outside. What would happen if you changed that whole thing? Where's the leadership? There isn't any. There isn't any. Because look, in this case, in both cases, the employees were not bad. They weren't lazy. They had no guidance. If somebody had come out there and said, look, Or at this resort, we'll send somebody through. You guys are having problems with too many leaves. I'll send through somebody to sweep up the leaves every hour. Right? Well, there's something. And look, they're making that much money. They can replace some cushions. But there's no leadership. Nobody's checking. Nobody's observing. And like I said, the problem is they probably have, we're supposed to be making X number of dollars. We're making X number of dollars. I don't have to do anything. Forget about it. And these poor employees, they're all miserable. Not miserable. They know when things aren't going right. The people know when things aren't working. Anyway, so these resorts, customer and employee focus were just words. It was a waste. It was a waste. Why put them up there if you're not going to do it? What was the value and character of the management? Well, let's talk about ghosting. What's the value of the manager? You don't need a manager there. Get him out. Fire him. You can double your margin by firing the leader. Because I'm sure they're making six figures at these big resorts. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure they're making a whole ton of money, though. And, so we just fire that person because they're not doing anything. They're not checking. They're not taking care of the employees. They're not taking care of your philosophy. I'm telling you, the difference is going to be if you ever hire me to be a consultant, we're going to talk about your leadership team. I'm not talking about the employees. But yeah, so did they have, so I say character. Did they have humility? No, because they weren't coming down and putting themselves in the employee's shoes. They weren't doing like, I keep forgetting his name, up the organization, Robert Townsend. They weren't doing like that person and coming down and working a shift every month. Right? They weren't making sure that the customer was taken care of. They weren't setting the right conditions for the employee. So no integrity with the philosophy, no humility, no empathy. Clearly they don't care about the employee and their tips. And zero vigilance. Zero. Is that it? Oh yeah. So identify some of the issues and possible corrections. And I've never done a case study, so if you think this is garbage, please tell me. If you like these questions, these are sort of going to be the questions during every case study, as long as it fits the category. So identify some of the issues and possible corrections. So communication. Well, clearly, that one's easy. If you're checking all the time, then you're going to know what's going on. Or there has to be a channel to communicate all these issues. Right? But there's no communication. And to a certain extent, we could say at this first example that yes, maybe the employee should have taken it on themselves to make that happen. But I'll bet because there's no other, the leadership environment was so terrible that they are not encouraged to take initiative. They are not encouraged to make things better. Right? Or they've tried it once before and got poo-pooed because they don't have the degree in whatever management. They had the solution. The solution's perfect. Go drop off the customer. Go walk over to where the employees are. Hey, just dropped off a customer. Told them you'll be right with them. Cool, I'll be right over there. It's not that hard. But you can tell if the environment is such that nobody's going to come up with better ideas. Presence. Okay, so was there any presence? No, none. And my point, especially in this situation, how hard would it be to take 30 minutes out of the day? Because if you really care about the employees and you really care about the guests, you should be where the employees and the guests are and get the day started right. Because you get that thing started right and suddenly revenue climbs and all this sort of stuff climbs, then I don't know, maybe you get a bonus. Not that it's that reason, but holy crap, you're going to have happy employees and happy guests. And that's what you're supposed to be doing as part of your job. I'm talking to the leaders now. And then training. What sort of training was there? Were there any training issues? It's clearly training issues on the leaders' part because they didn't know what the heck they're doing. They certainly weren't doing all the stuff that I think they should be doing in that job. The employees were all fine. Right? It's sad when you can see that somebody wants to do or is doing a good job despite crappy leadership. In the second issue over here, they said that they hadn't seen their manager in 3 months or 3 weeks. This example here, they said their manager didn't do anything except for issue the schedule and send out emails. Really? And look, it doesn't even have to be every day. Maybe it's 3 times a week. Maybe the manager, I'll give him credit. Maybe the manager has 5 departments. Well, once a week, you're in each one of those departments checking the systems. Because all it would take is one day to know that was a problem. All it would take is one day to know that was a problem there, and then fix the problem, and then keep checking. Anyway, hopefully this was an interesting discussion. I think they're going to be neat. I have 7 of them lined up already. So if you have something, a scenario that you're in, be real easy to take it and tear it apart. As always, I appreciate your time. Questions, comments, would like to collaborate, leadership.is.a.philosophy@gmail.com. Periods in between each word. And I hope you have a great day.